Thank you so much for joining this lesson. To the new members, remember to subscribe. You're most welcome to Shifting Grades Online School. This is your home of academics. We shall be discussing the Signal CB assessment, or rather the Scholar 009. So this is the 9th prediction, the 9th trial from Signal. It's a very good paper, and it's my hope that you guys are going to benefit a lot from it. So we shall manage the space on the paper, which is a little bit limited, and also some more space from my desktop here. Number 1, evaluate 1 and 4 to 5 divided by 2/3 of 2 1/4 minus 3 out of 10, everything over 5 over 6 plus 22 out of 39 multiplied by 1 and 2 over 11. So let's start by working out the numerator first, whereby we should talk about board mass, because all the operations cannot be done at the same time. There is the order in which they occur. We know board mass, right? This one we've been using even from our lower levels of education. So we begin with brackets, and when we look at the numerator in this case, there is no brackets anywhere, but we can see off. Therefore, we shall be computing now. We shall be computing I will also be changing these numbers from mixed numbers into improper fractions for efficiency, like 1 and 4 over 5, that becomes 9 over 5. So 9 out of 5, then divided by, we are having 2/3. Now, instead of off, we now multiply by, you see, this is 2 1/4. So we are having 2 1/4 at this point. We also make it an improper fraction, and that is 9 over 4. 9 over 4. So this will be done first, where later we shall be subtracting 3 out of 10, like that. So let me continue breaking down the numerator. We can simplify by 2, 1, by 2 to give us 2. Then by 3, 1, by 3, we get 3. So we're having 9 out of 5. Now, instead of dividing by, when we are dealing with fractions, we know that this is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So instead of 3 over 2, now we can have 2 out of 3, like that. And this division shall be done before the subtraction here. So this takes us to, by 3, 1, by 3, 3, 6 over 5 minus 3 over 10. You see that? So now we can work with an LCM of 10. 10 divided by 5, we get 2 times 6, that takes us to 12, minus 10 divided by 10, we get 1 times 3. So this is 9 out of 10. So from the numerator, I'm having 9 over 10. Let me now check the denominator. What about when we work out the denominator? What shall we have? Continue joining the lesson. Continue sharing with friends. Continue subscribing and liking. You can comment. Let's know where you're watching us from. Let's know your school. Let's know who you are. Which county are you coming from? Which school are you coming from? Who is your math teacher? Please tag your math teacher. Say hi to them. Shout outs to the math teachers, and congratulations for the great work you're doing in the preparation of our candidates 2025. Now look at the denominator, ladies and gentlemen. We're having 5 over 6, then plus 22 over 39, multiplied by 1 and 2 over 11. Now we work out the multiplication first before the division. Therefore, we'll be having 5 out of 6. Then plus, we first work out whatever is here. We multiply first. So 22 over 39, this should be multiplied by, now when we check 1 and 2 over 11, that can be converted to 13 out of 11. Now 13 is simplifiable by 13 1, by 13 3, by 11 1, and by 11 2. So this is 2 over 3. Now we shall be having 5 out of 6 plus 2 over 3. Then we simplify this now. LCM of 6 by 6, 6 divided by 6, we get 1 times 5. Then 6 divided by 3, we get 2 times 2, we get 4. So you see I'm getting now 9 out of 6. This can simplify by 3. By 3, I'll be getting 3, and by 3, I'll get 2. So we're having 3 over 2 from the denominator. Now we're having this 9 over 10. I'm combining the numerator and the denominator. 9 over 10, then now 3 over 2. So when we are having 9 over 10 divided by 3 over 2, this will simplify to 9 over 10 multiplied by the reciprocal. So by 3, 1, and by 3, we get 3. By 2, 1, and by 2, we get 5. So this shall be 3 over 5. Now we get back to our question. The most suitable or the correct answer here, 3 over 5. C, the correct answer. But remember, you'll be provided with a separate answer sheet whereby you are supposed to shade the correct answer. So here, I'm just identifying the right answer. Remember, there'll be guidelines on how you're supposed to shade your answer sheet, which is different from the question paper. Your supervisor and the invigilators, during the, what you call the rehearsals, they are going to guide you very well on how you shall be marking your right answers in the papers. So please don't worry about that one. You'll be guided. Once that time comes, when the supervisors will be leading you through, please cooperate with them. So here we're just doing the revision, the content part of mathematics. Make sure about the accuracy and what is expected of you in submitting the answer. You cooperate with your supervisor. Thank you. Two bells ring at intervals of 35 and 42 minutes respectively. The bells ring together at 8:48 a.m. Determine the time when the bells will ring together again. So this is about now LCM application, 35 and 42. So let's check 35 and 42. I'll manage the space here. 35, 42. Then now you divide here. We start with the least common prime factor, which is a 2. This remains 35 because it can't be divided by 2. This now becomes 21. Now 2 cannot divide any of them, so we proceed to 3. 35 is not a multiple of 3, but 21 is. It gives us a 7. The next one should be 5, so that we get 7. This one remains 7. And now by 7, so that we get 1, 1. Therefore, we can see we have LCM of 2, 3, 5, 7. So we are looking for the interval that will be shared by both 35 and 42. The interval that will be shared by both. So we look at the least common multiple. The multiple that can be divided, the least one that can be divided by both 35 and 42 is 210, and these are minutes. So if this is the interval that will be taken, then these minutes are already beyond an hour. So when we divide by 60 minutes, we are getting 3 hours and 30 minutes, or rather 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours means 3 hours and 30 minutes. Now we ask ourselves, these bells are rung together at 8:48 a.m. What about now ringing together again? So they require this interval of 3 hours, 30 minutes. So this is now what we are adding. 8:48, we add 3 hours, 30 minutes. So when we add 48 to 30, 48 and 30 gives us 78. So on the minutes side, we are having 78 minutes. Here we don't add 8 plus 0, then 4 plus 7, 4 plus 3. No, we have a point actually there. So that we add, if it's the minutes side, we add minutes together, like 48 plus 30. 78 minutes, there is already a complete 1 hour there, which is 60 minutes, and we remain with 18 minutes. So we carry the 1 hour now to the hour side. 8 plus 3, and the 1 hour now. So 8 plus 4, we get 12. So 12:18 in the PM. 12:18 in the PM. Because we are already past midday now. Yeah, like that. 12:18 in the PM. So that is simply what shall happen. That is simply what shall happen. We simply add when we can see that B is the right answer. Now look at a wonderful question in number 3. Without using tables or calculators, simplify. The square root of 2 and 14 over 25 minus 2 out of 5 squared. All right, let me deal with the square root part, then the square part, then now I'll be taking the difference later. So from the squaring part, when we make it a mixed number. Okay, it's a mixed number. We make it an improper fraction. It shall be 25 by 2, giving us 50, then plus 14. So we get 64 out of 25. And now we are taking square root of these. So the square root of 64. And remember, by the way, we are not supposed to use tables or calculators. So if I extract the square root of 64 from my head, I don't have evidence that I didn't use a calculator or a table. So I'm supposed to factorize 64. Yes. By 2, 32. By 2, 16. By 2, 8. By 2, we're getting 4. And by 2, we get 2, the last prime factor. Therefore, we can now pick square root of 64 from the prime factors. In every pair of similar factors, we pick only one. For example, in this pair, we pick only 2. In the next pair, we pick only 2. And in the last pair, we pick 2. So we are having now 2 times 2 times 2 as the square root of 64. So the square root of 64 is going to be 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, out of the square root of 25. We factorize 25. 25 factorized by 5, we get 5. Fully factorized already. So it's just a pair. It's just a pair of prime factors, which is just the same. So we pick 5 there. So now over 5. So the square root of 25 is 5. We are done with the square root part. Then minus, when we square now, it will be 2 times 2, which is 4, and 5 times 5, which is 25. Then now we are supposed now to work out these. 8 over 5 minus 4 over 25. The LCM of 5 and 25 is just 25. 25 divided by 5, we get 5. Times 8, 40. Minus 25 divided by 25, we get 1. Times 4, it's just 4. So 40 minus 4, we get 36 out of 25. So 36 over 25 now is our final answer. But now we can't leave it as an improper fraction when it is a final answer. So 36 over 25 should now be converted into a mixed number, which is 1 and 11 out of 25. 1 and 11 over 25 is option C. So C is the right answer in this case. So that is the answer for number 3. A very good question. Very good question. As we continue working out this wonderful paper, I would request you to continue embracing our programs here. You might be in grade 9, but you are having a brother or a sister in the lower grades or even in the senior school. We are inviting them to our programs for the holiday, Shifting Grades Online School. Actually, we're calling it the One Term Ed program. In this program, we shall be introducing learners. We shall introduce learners to the work of their next level. If you are a grade 7, you shall be introduced to grade 8 work. If you are a grade 8, you shall be introduced to term 1 work of grade 9. So we shall be equipping learners and students with what they need for term 1 2026 through 5 weeks, the 20th of November to the 12th of December. Actually, we shall allow people to just take a break from the busy term 3, but once they have relaxed enough, now we occupy them for 5 weeks, then we shall be releasing them again 12th December for the Jamhuri holiday, or through the Christmas and other festivals in December. This shall be happening through Google Meet, which is very interactive, one-on-one, just like a normal classroom. Via Google Meet, you can ask questions, you can respond to questions, you can seek clarification of whatever is being taught. So you shall be interacting with very qualified teachers in mathematics and the sciences. Welcome so that we may grow together. Shifting Grades is the home of academics. Remember, our consultation line 070415 3366 is already attached on the screen and on this poster. Please utilize it to get more resources from us, and we shall grow together. So thank you so much for partnering with Shifting Grades, the home of academics. Continuing with the paper now. Number 4. In 2023, Mora harvested 2,505 bags of maize. In 2024, the number of bags she harvested increased in the ratio of 4:3. How many more bags of maize did she harvest in 2024 than in 2023? That's a very clear question, whereby we are now looking at what we call increase in ratio. When you are increasing in a particular ratio, you multiply the quantity that you are affecting, like 2505, you multiply it by the ratio such that the bigger proportion is the numerator, the smaller proportion is now the denominator, because we are increasing. If it was a decrease, then the bigger proportion should have been the numerator. So when we multiply this by 4 out of 3, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting 3340. So this is the new number of bags, 3340, 3,340, the new number of bags that Mora shall be harvesting. But now we want how many more bags? In other words, what is that difference between 2024 and 2023? So 3340 minus 2505. This is now the more bags that she has harvested. 835. We have 835 in our multiple choices, and you're supposed to be very careful, by the way. When you look at the figures just rushing, you might mark C, thinking that it is also 835. So you should be very careful and proceed with moderation. Mark B as the right answer, and you mark it in the way that you'll be shown by your supervisors in the exam. This time round, people will be shading the correct answers and not just ticking. So please be careful in everything. Proceed with moderation, and all shall be well. Don't rush. Don't over-rush anyway. Don't also waste time trying to do something too slowly just because in the online class you were told not to rush. So please manage time very well so that you may do all the papers. We are looking at number 5. A very interesting question from indices. Now, 5 power x equals to 1 out of 125. You've been told to solve for x. So when you meet a question like this, you're supposed to express any composite number to the least possible base, and more so, the base that is according to this particular question. So 125 can be expressed to base 5 as 5 power 3, this way. So 5 power x equals to 1 out of. Now, instead of 125, we write it as 5 power 3, like that. Or even everything here power 3, because 1 power anything just remains the way it is. So we have 5 power 3, like that. Then we apply what we call the negative law of indices, that says, in case you have a number, a base like a, raised to a negative index, now you can solve this by taking the reciprocal of a, then the index becomes positive. That's simple. That is the negative law of indices. Now with this law, you see we can apply it to any direction. So we can apply it now towards the left-hand side, whereby we shall say, instead of 1 over 5 power 3, now we can rewrite our equation as 5 power x equals to 5 becomes now the numerator, then the power instead of 5 becomes power negative 3. So now if the bases are the same, if 5 power x equals to 5 power negative 3, then we can now equate the indices. X equals to the negative 3, making A the right choice. Thank you. Are you remembering that our consultation line is just 07, 04, 15, 33, 66? Please reach out for consultations, and so that you may also know a lot about our programs. Looking at number 6 now. You've been told to use mathematical tables to solve the square root of 363.4 minus the cube root of 0.4441. No, not the cube root, but the cube. Yeah, that one has been raised to power 3. Maybe the power there is not very clear. But this is a power 3 top there. This is a power 3, like that. So we're using mathematical tables to solve that. So you shall allow me now to check something here on my gadget, so that I may check the 4-figure tables. I'll also be utilizing the working space here, so that we may have a very clear arrangement of work, and so that people may know exactly what is happening. So we need the square root of, let me first recopy the question here. The square root of 363.4, then we subtract the cube of 0.4441. This is now power 3. It's good for you to know that when you are finding the square root of the cubes, you first write in what we call standard form. Therefore, we shall be having this one as 3.634. This now, we multiply by 10 power 2. We are taking square root, remember that, minus, on this other side, we also write in standard form, multiplied by 10 power negative 1, we are raising to power 3. Then if you are taking square root, it's good for you to know that the power divides by 2. So if it's power 2 now, it becomes 10 power 1. But now, the square root of this part shall be read from the 4-figure tables. So that is what we shall be extracting from the 4-figure tables. Yeah? Then after working it out now, we shall minus. Now the cube of this one shall be read from the 4-figure tables, but for the 10, it shall be 10 power. The power triples when you are cubing. The power triples, like that. If it was -2, it would have become -6. Now that it's -3, it just becomes, now that's just power -1, it becomes now power -3. So the power becomes -3. But when you look at the other side, for square rooting, the power should just divide by 2. So you will allow me to access my files once again. Just be patient with this process. I want to check whether I'll be able to get the 4-figure table. The 4-figure table. The 4-figure mathematical table. Yeah. Yeah. Allow me get it for you, please. Just be patient. Here it is. Yeah, the 4-figure table is here. Interesting. So what are we looking for? We are looking for not reciprocals, not squares, square roots. Yeah, square root. So we are looking now for the square root of what? Let me check the figures once again. Let me get back to the figures now so that we may extract the square root. I'm also going to guide you on how to find square roots. So in this one now, you're supposed to read 3.634. 3.634. So 3.6 first, you identify the column bearing 3.6. So this is the column that we shall be using. 3.6. First, you identify that column, 3.6. Then after identifying that column now, that row, sorry, it's a row. We go to the column with 3 because it is, this is what we are doing. We are finding for 3.634. So after being guided by 3.6 to establish the row, now you go to the columns with 3, then finally 4. So the column with 3 now is here. The column with 3 is here. The column with 3 is there. You look at the figure, they are coinciding there. Then finally you go to where 4 is. So on the differences side, whereby we shall be adding, you see this option of add, we go to where 4 is, and 4 is here. So again, in this column of 4, you check the coinciding value at this point. The coinciding value at that point, which is at 10. So now we shall be having at 3.6, the value begins with, the square root begins with 1, but now point what we have next there. So 1.9053. 1.9053. So 1.9053. Then finally we go to the figure here, which is a 10. So we shall be adding 10 there. 10 like that. So this 3609.1. So now we have 1.9063. That is the square root from the 4-figure table. And the square root of this part with 10 power 2 now becomes 10 power 1, like that. We shall proceed once we find cube root. Let's check cube root. For the cube root part now, we are having 4.441. 4.441. So we go to cubes. The cube now. Yeah, after square roots, we have cubes. 4.441. So we identify first 4.4, so that you go to 41. So 4.4, it means this is the row that we shall be using. And now we go to the columns after, we are looking for 4.441. So we have been guided by 4.4 to get the row. Now we go to the column with 4, and for the addition, we go to the column with 1. So for 4, we look at it here. Where is 4? 4 is here. 4 is in this column. This one. So we shall be having 87.53. Now we go to where there is 1 on this differences side, whereby we add. Where there is 1, and where there is 1, we are intersecting with 6 here. So we'll be having 87.53 plus 6. 87.53, and we add a 6 here. 9,587. 87.59. 87.59, like that. 87.59. So we have 87.59. That is cubing this part, raising it to power 3. But now cubing 10 power negative 1 becomes 10 power minus 3, like that. This part now, when we multiply by 10 power 1, it becomes 19.063 minus. This part becomes 0.08759, like that. So now we can carry out the subtraction. 19.063 minus 0.08759. Now this gives us 18.97. 18.97541. I don't know the accuracy they needed the answers in, but we can now check. 18.9751. 18.9751. Now this becomes our answer, part B. I think we've organized the work very well, and that is why the answer is exactly displayed in the choices that you have. Look at the number 7 now, our next question. Solve the following inequality and hence state the integral values. All right, so we can see a chain of what we're calling an inequality here. We're supposed to arrange it such that we extract 2 simple statements. So the first statement, let me rewrite it so that I may guide you through very well. First writing 5/3 minus 2x. 5/3 minus 2x. Let me check the next. Next is a minus 2x, yeah? Less than 1 minus 2/3 x less than or equal to 2 minus x. That's what you're having. So the first inequality runs from the first term all the way to the term just before the second inequality symbol, up to that point. Just before. Then the second one, the second simple statement shall be running from this point. So there'll be 2 simultaneous inequalities now. 2 simultaneous inequalities. The other one starts from just after the first inequality symbol all the way to the last term. So now we start with the first one, 5/3 minus 2x less than 1 minus 2/3x. We group terms together, right? So you shall allow me now. Okay, you can arrange terms to the best of your knowledge. Like 5/3, we can first make it what? 5/3 can be made, is it 1 and 2/3? Minus 1. So the 1 on the right has now been brought to the left, becoming negative. Less than. Now the 2 on the left becomes positive. Then we subtract 2/3 x. We have to know that when, a term changes its side, the sign changes. So 2 minus 2/3. 2 minus 2/3. 2 minus 2/3, we get 1 1/3, right? We get 1 1/3 x. Then here we are having 2/3. Because 1 and 2/3 minus 1, we remain with the 2/3, like that. So how shall we remain with x? We have to take 2/3, then we divide by 1 and a third, and that gives us half or 0.5, like that. That is the first simple statement, already simplified. The first simple statement. Look at the other part, whereby we are having 1 minus 2/3 x less than or equal to 2 minus x. We group terms again. The x that we are having on the left can become positive. The x that we have on the left, on the right, can become positive on the right, so that it is x minus 2/3 x 2 minus 1. So what are we having here? It shall be a third x 1. You see that? Now we can multiply through by the value of 3, so that we remain with x. And instead of 1 now, we shall be having 3. Like that. So now we have two simple statements, 0.5 being less than x, and x being less than or equal to 3. That means x ranges between 0.5 and 3. So we can write one compound statement now. Look at the inequality signposts. They are a little bit different. We are supposed now to state the integral values. But when you look at the first statement, or the first limit, which is the lower limit here, it is not included. We are just having 0.5 less than. So if you are now to pick the integral values within these limits, we shall talk about 1, 2, and the 3 itself, simply because 3 is a limit which is inclusive, less than or equal to 3. So 1, 2, 3 becomes our answer. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That becomes our answer. Looking at number 8 now, what is the value of 3 into 4x plus 3y minus 4z divided by 2 into x minus y plus z? What is the value of? So this is an evaluation on what you call substitution. Let me actually, for precision, allow me substitute it in the space that we just have here. So that I talk about 3, then there inside the brackets, I'll be having 4 times the value of x, which is 4. That gives us 16, plus 3 times y. The value of y is 3. So 3 times 3, that takes us to 9, minus 4 times z, which is at 2. That becomes 8. Out of, we divide 2 into x, which is just 4, minus y, which is a 3, plus z, which is a 2. Now we can work out inside the brackets. 16 plus 9 minus 8, giving us 17. So 3 into 17 out of 2 into 4 minus 3 plus 2. That gives us 3. Like that. So you see, from the numerator, we can have 3 appearing, denominator 3 appearing. That can cancel. 17 over 2. 17 divided by 2, ladies and gentlemen, is just 8.5, which is 8.5. 8.5, like that. 8.5. Very simple work. Very simple work. I can't imagine a whole grade 9 missing that. You guys have prepared for long and you can't afford to miss such simple questions. So please give it your best. 2025 shall be your year. You are the firstborns of CBE, the firstborns of Kjsea, and you shall marvel. You shall surprise many. Please pull a great surprise and give us an excellent performance. Looking at number 9, given that matrix A equals to 2, 3, 4, 4, matrix B equals to 5, 4, 6, 7, determine the value of matrix B minus matrix A. When we are subtracting matrices, ladies and gentlemen, when we are subtracting matrices, we subtract what we call elements in corresponding positions. Elements in corresponding what? Positions. So we're starting with B. Look at this arrangement. You know, there are people who will be very careless. They'll just go directly to substituting A minus B instead of, and they'll do that from the examiner's typed work. They will not even rewrite the matrices for themselves now to subtract. So you start with B. Matrix B is 5, then 4, then 6, then 7. Then now we subtract matrix A, which is 2, 3, 4, 4, like that. When we are carrying out this subtraction, we're supposed to subtract corresponding elements in corresponding positions. If it's 5, we subtract 2. That gives 3. If it's 4, we subtract 3. That gives us 1. If it's 6, we subtract 4. That gives us 2. If it's 7, we subtract the 4 here. That gives us 3. You see? 3, 1, 2, 3. 3, 1, 2, 3. Making A the right answer. Very interesting and a very good question. To the members who are joining us now, please remember to subscribe to Shifting Grades Online School. Yeah. It's also good for a question like number 10, we mention a few things here. You know, we've been told that the figure below represents half of a cylindrical piece of wood, diameter 28. As you can see, the length is 50, as you can see. Then, now the question is, what is the surface area of the hood? What is the surface area of the hood? Let me bring it to this space so that you may dissect it very well. Okay, so we have our wood here, diameter 28. We want the surface. How many surfaces can you see? Or how many surfaces are here? You know, this is a three-dimensional solid such that we can see a semicircle here, but the truth is that on the other side, there is also a semicircular surface. Therefore, semicircles are 2. When we are working out total surface, we should know that for the semicircle part, semi is half circle part. We can talk about half pi r. You know, they gave us diameter squared. But now we are to multiply this by 2 because there are 2 such faces. Half pi r squared. So we have 2 such faces. That's why now in our working, the 2 can already simplify with the half. Then the 7 with one of the 14s. Now we are having 22 by 2 by 14. You know, this will give us 616, right? Square centimeters. We are done with the semicircular parts. Then the top. Remember, we are having 28 here and 50. So now the top is rectangular. Once you cut the hood like this, once you cut it like that alongside the length, you obtain a rectangular part on top. So this rectangular part, the rectangular part shall be length times a width of 28. You know, 50 by 28, that takes us to 1400. 1400, like that. Then after the rectangle now, we have the curved surface. The curved surface. Now, the curved surface is for half a cylinder. I want you to know that. For a cylinder, I want you to know that For a cylinder curved surface, we need 2 pi r multiplied by the length. But now that it is a half, we shall introduce a half at this point. And now we can work with pi rl for us to get the curved. So we need a half times 2 pi r length, or 2 pi rh. It depends on how the cylindrical face is lying. So now the 2 automatically shall cancel, but let it cancel after substitution. R and L 50, the length of 50. So this shall be the 2 cancels like that, and this becomes 2 again. So we are having 22 by 2 by 50. This gives us 2200 square centimeters again. So now we can talk about total now. Total surface area. This is 2200 plus the semicircular parts, then plus the rectangular part, which is 1400, yeah. So we can now get the total. You know, this takes me to 4216 square centimeters. Are we having such an answer? 4216. Ah, wonderfully, we have it here. Now, I've just followed this because of what they are saying here. Take pi as 22/7. I want you to know that according to NEC and according to Kjsea, please note that pi shall be used as 3.142 or the calculator value. When you go to your calculator and you type shift exponential, the middle button in the bottom row, the middle button in the bottom row, which is written this exponential, this one, the button written that as a pi on the inner side. There is a pi written there. So the pi will exhibit itself when you start with shift exponential. Pi will type itself in the calculator. So that is what you should be using, either the pi in the calculator or 3.142. So please watch out the NEC instructions very carefully. They might actually give this pi on the examiner's instructions on the cover page. Then you find wherever pi is required, they don't give you the pi. But now you find some people are already addicted to 22/7. That's when you'll mess up. So please follow instructions to the letter. If on the cover page, instructions are talking about pi as 3.142 or the calculator value of pi, please don't make a mistake of 22/7. I hope everybody has heard me, and I hope we are not having online backbenchers here. So let everybody concentrate kindly. Subscribe if you never. Share with your friends. Invite people so that they may also benefit, so that they may also get everything that they need for this particular examination, which is just about to come. Now, Natalie imported electronic goods weighing 500,000 kilograms at a cost of 1200 Kenya shillings per kilogram. She was required to pay an import duty of 15% on the total value of the goods. How much import duty did she pay? Now, she's supposed to pay an import duty when clearing the goods at the port. And that is 15% of the value of the goods. So what is the value of these goods? These goods are 500,000 and every kilogram is 1200. So for us to get the import duty, we shall talk about 500,000, and every kilogram is costing 1200. Then now this will be the total, but now we just need 15% of this, so we can go direct now. We just computed that level, the 15% that we need, which is our import duty. So we need 500,000 multiplied by 1200 multiplied by 15 over 100. Now this gives us exactly 90 million. 90 million, making A the right answer. Yeah, making A the right answer that way. Aha. We are almost concluding the section A. Now, in number 12, a tank had 25 liters of water. Then the water was poured into a container which has a square base of side 25 or 250 centimeters. What was the height of water in the container? A very interesting question from measurement. It's good for you to know that measurement will be highly or heavily evaluated. So kindly capitalize on measurement. Know every formula and how to interpret everything on measurement. So now the tank is already having these liters, and this water is going to be poured into another container. So we can change the capacity of this water into volume, whereby 2125 can be multiplied by 1,000. 2125 can be multiplied by 1,000 to become 2125,000 cubic centimeters, like that. So this is now the volume being transferred into a square-based container now. So we know that 25,000 is the volume. This is equal to 250 times 250. The volume now, according to the formula, that is the area of the base times height. Height unknown now. So how shall we get the height unknown? We divide through by 250 by 250. So 25,000 should be divided by 250 by 250. So that will remain with the unknown h as exactly 34. And this now shall be centimeters, making A the right answer. Yeah, making A the right answer. Very good question. Up to number 13. Up to number 13. Now, a cone has a diameter of 14 centimeters and a slant height of 25 centimeters. What is the curved surface area of the cone now? A cone is having a diameter of 14, slant height of 25. So this is the cone. Diameter 14, slant height 25. So for us to proceed with surface area, actually the curved one, we need pi r L. That's simple. Therefore, the pi has been given as 22/7 according to the question, but remember my instruction about neck times the slanting height of 25. So now I'll be multiplying 22/7 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 25, giving us exactly 550. We just needed the curved surface. Let's get back to the question. We just needed the curved. If it was total, we would have added the circular base. So we go for B as the right answer. Now, when we get to number 14, look at this. A shot put is spherical. You see now they are focusing on measurement consecutively. A shot put is spherical and has a mass of 7.26 kilograms. It is made of a material with a density of 6.93 grams per cubic centimeters. Determine the radius of the shot part. correct to 1 decimal place. So we have the short put and we have its mass. Then now it's made of a material whose density is 6.93, and now we need the radius. With mass and density, we can work out volume. Remember, volume, okay, density, the original formula for density, mass per unit volume, meaning that from this, now volume can be obtained by mass out of density. So the mass for this particular short put, the mass is 7.26. 7.26 out of the density, which is equivalent to 6.93. 6.93. So when I compute this, 7.26 out of 6.93, I'm getting 1.0476. And because it's volume, this is cubic centimeters, like that. Now with there's something there that we're supposed to check in. This mass was in kilograms. So if we are dividing it with this density, sorry for that, then we convert either the density or the mass to grams. Density to kilogram per meter cubed, or the mass to grams. To convert the mass to grams, we need to multiply it by 1,000. Sorry for that. So this we had to multiply it by 1,000. So when this is multiplied by 1,000 now, we realize that the volume is 1047.62 cubic centimeters here, like that. And remember, to convert density, you would have multiplied it by 1,000. Yes, which I think. So now, with the volume, we can say that now that the spherical ball, okay, not spherical ball, but the short put is spherical. Now, we say that volume of a sphere is usually given by 4/3 pi r power 3. So, 1047.62 equals to 4/3 multiplied by 2/7 multiplied by a known r power 3. We shall remain with a known r power 3 when we take 1047.62. We multiply it by 3 and 7, then we divide it by 4 and 22. Like that. I'm getting exactly 250. Exactly 250. Like that. So if this is r power 3, then r itself shall be the third root of 250, cube root. So shift power 3 of 250. This gives us 6.2996. 6.2996. 6.2996. 6.2996. So let me check the accuracy that they needed. 6.2996. They have given, to 1 decimal place. Very serious instructions. To 1 decimal place. So 6.3 now becomes our only correct answer. Number 15. Patricia invested 200,000 Kenya shillings in a bank that offered compound interest at the rate of 5% per annum. How much did she have in a bank, in a bank account after 2.5 years? When we talk about compound interest, we mean interest whereby after the original principal has earned interest, it combines together with the interest to earn interest in the subsequent financial period. Therefore, we say that the first interest is the principal times a rate of 5%, right? Of course, for 1 year. So the interest shall be multiplied by 5%, 10,000. So 10,000 was earned, meaning that the new principal now became it became 210,000. So it's now 210,000 to earn interest for 1 half a year. And this becomes 10,500. So the interest now is bigger, 10,500. Then now 10,500 combines with previous principal to get the final principal now for half a year. So now we add this one to 210,000. This becomes 220,500. Then it shall earn interest, but now for half a year, because it's 2.5 years. So now for half a year, this shall be 5512. So this is the final interest to be earned. Now we add it to the principal we add so that we get total amount now. We add this to 220,500. This becomes 226,012. That. So now we are having the right answer is A. We need the much she has in her bank account. So that means amount. So in case we wanted the interest earned, then the right answer could have been this, but now we were not calculating the interest. We wanted the total she is having now, or the interest together with the principal, everything that she has. Focusing on number 16. Now it is 3 p.m. on Tuesday at 90 degrees west longitude. What time is it at 90 degrees in the east? We look at what we call time difference and longitude difference. 90 west and 90 in the east. Have we mentioned the days anywhere? 90 west, it was 3 p.m. Tuesday. 3 p.m. on Tuesday. What about the time here? So we shall say that for the sun to rotate through the 360 degrees of the globe of the earth, it takes 24 hours, each with 60 minutes. So it takes 1440 minutes. What about for 1 degree to rotate through 1 degree? It shall be 1440 over 360, giving us 4 minutes. And for this, we say, for every 1 degree longitude difference, there is 4 minutes time difference. For every 1 degree longitude difference, there is 4 minutes time difference. And for that reason, we get now to 90 west, 3 p.m. What about 90 east? What's the longitude difference? So from the west, look at this. From the west, 90 degrees in the west, all the way to the east, also 90 degrees. We shall move the 90 degrees. It's good you understand the logic here. We move the 90 degrees on the west, then we transition through the prime meridian to the east and we still move for 90, that means the angle difference, the longitude difference between these two places is going to be 90 plus 90. So 180. What about for 180 degrees? What will be the time difference? 180 by 4 minutes. And because these are many minutes, we can divide them by 60 to get hours. So 180 by 4 over 60, giving us exactly 12 hours. So there is a 12 hours time difference. Then we ask ourselves, at 90 in the west, it was 3 p.m. in the Tuesday. What about 90 degrees in the east? Is time ahead in the east? Yes. Ahead by the time difference. Ahead by 12 hours. So if time is ahead by 12 hours, and this one is the same as 1500 hours. So this place, 90 in the east, is ahead by 12 hours. That means we shall add the hours remaining here, which is how many hours from 12? We can add 5 to 20, then 4. So we add 9 hours here. We go to 00 hours exactly on Wednesday. Then now, on top of Wednesday arriving, which is 00 hours, that's midnight, exactly midnight on Wednesday after adding 9 hours. Remember the time difference was 12 hours. How many more hours to be added? 3 more hours. So it will be 0300 hours on Wednesday. 0300 hours Wednesday. Because this is a place which is ahead in time. So we add 12 hours, definitely. We just add 12 hours like that. Therefore, 0300, or rather 3 a.m., yeah, the following day. So it can't be on Tuesday. So A is wrong. We have transitioned to another day because it was already 1500. This was already 1500. So we just needed to add 9 hours first. We arrive on Wednesday arrives. Then we continue adding the remaining hours. The hours were 12. So we add 3 like that. It is 3 a.m. on Wednesday. That is the right answer. You see, all the answers are conflicting. It's about 300. Then now we have Tuesday, Wednesday, AM, PM, AM, PM. You're supposed to be very sharp in that. Please make sure in such contradicting cases, you select the right answer. The perimeter in number 17 of a square piece of land on a map is 56. The map was drawn using the scale 1:1,000. What is the actual area of the piece of land in square meters? Okay, so we are told that the perimeter of a piece of land on map is 56. That means we can get the length of this particular piece of land, which has been represented on map. Therefore, we'll say side multiplied by 4 times should give us 56. So we can get the length of the side here. The length of the side, whereby we shall say that 56 over 4 is 14. So the side of this map is 14 centimeters because the perimeter is 56. And this is not an easy question. You're supposed to approach it with a lot of moderation. Very easy, stepwise, like that. So from the perimeter of the map, we can get the dimension of the map. That now means 1 centimeter. Look at this. 1 centimeter in paper is representing 1,000 centimeters, which can be converted to 10 meters. Be converted to 10 meters. It represents 10 meters on the ground from this scale. You know, 1:1,000 means 1 centimeter for 1,000 centimeters on ground. So the 1,000 centimeter on ground can be made 10 meters. That means the 14 centimeters here of length are representing how many centimeters on the ground, so that you may know the actual length. So actual length of the square plot is now 10 times 14, which is 140 meters. Now 140 meters is the dimension of the square plot, the actual plot now on the ground. 140 should be squared for us to get actual area. And that gives us 19,600. 19,600. So A is the right answer. 19,600. That's it. 19,600. Yeah. Look at number 18 now. We are told that in a surveyor's field book, the measurements of a field were recorded as indicated in the table below. Line AB equals to 180 meters. Determine the area of the field in hectares. We're supposed to determine this area first in meters according to the dimensions given here. Then later we shall convert the meters squared in what we are calling hectares. So we are first of all supposed to open this diagram, the surveyor's field book. We sketch the land. We sketch the land. So let me lead you into that. So we are told that from A, no, I must take you slow so that you know what is happening. So we're having a field book here. Allow me analyze it, please. I know time has gone. I know some of you are tired or giving up. At least hold on a little bit. And very soon we shall be going through the section 2. I've discovered in the interest of time, when we cover everything in one session, some people will lose concentration because already we are handling the part A and time has really gone. Z20, then this is 160, 140, then we are having to M, 36, then 80, 10 to R, then 50, A, 30, 20, 48 to Q. Then now A is at that point. This is now the field book that we are having. We are supposed to analyze it slowly. First, we've been told that AB, we call it the baseline. The others are offsets. A to B is 180 meters. That true? Yes. 180 meters, like that. Therefore, we're supposed to draw a line. It can be vertical or horizontal, depending on how you want your area to look like. So let me choose the horizontal one. So I choose the baseline to be horizontal like this. Then you just mark off a beginning point, and that becomes our A. Then now you say from A, along the baseline, we measure 20. So I'm just estimating the length, ladies and gentlemen. So once we measure 20 like that, now you can choose the right hand side here, the left hand side here to be down, then the right one to be top. Yeah, to be on the upper side, that is. Therefore, we are supposed to move 48 downwards to Q. So just 48, an offset, 48 meters to Q. Then after 48, you proceed to 50, a length of 50 from A. A length of 50 from A, that means because you had already measured 20, now you are just adding 30. So you add 30 there. Then now on the opposite side now, which means on the upper side, you move for 30 to K. 30. And this is now K. We are doing a sketch. Remember, you can be told to represent this using a scale. Now we are just getting a sketch to help us find the area. Is that clear? Thank you. So we have done this 30 to K. Then we proceed from 50 to 80. We are adding 30 again. 50 to 80, we are adding 30. Then after marking off 30 now, the side with Q, which is now the lower side, we move N to R. Even if it's not an actual drawing, 10 to R. The 10 here to R should automatically look shorter than the 48 for Q there. Even if you are not measuring, you make sense in your sketching. Get that? You can't sketch a 10, which is longer than a 48, even if it's sketching. All right, proceed to. We are done with this. And we proceed to from 80 to 140, meaning that we are adding 60 this time round. We are adding 60. Then now after 60, we shall go to the side. To the side with K. That means the upper side now. For 36 to M. 36 should relatively be longer than 30 to M, point M. Then now after that, we go for 20 because from 140 we are going to 160. So we are just adding 20. We're adding 20. Then after marking 20 here, we proceed to the side where R is for a 20. R is for 20. That's 20 to where? To Z. 48 here. Allow me interfere with the sketch for 48 here. Let me elongate the 48 here. 48 to Q, like that. Okay. Now with this now, we are supposed to say that now that we are up to here, B is not exactly at that point because AB was 180 and so far this is 160. So we add an extra 20 there to reach B. So an extra 20 shall take us to point B, which is the end of the baseline now. So now we can now enclose this by joining the tops of the offsets. We can't join K to the base. We must join K to 20. To 20 like that. Then to the top, to the next top on the same side. Next top on the same side. Then from there now, we don't have any other offsets. So we take it down to B. This one, we drop it to B. Like that. Then now on the lower side, from A to the top of Q, from Q to the top of R, from R to the top of Z, from Z to the end of the baseline now. How many areas are we seeing here? Very many of them. So we have area 1, we have area 2, we have area 3, area 4, 5, 6, 7 areas. So now we want to compute the areas now because we've been told apart from the sketching now we are supposed to sketch and get area. So look at area 1, triangular. So half times a base of 20 and 30, 50, and a height of 30. Now this is supposed to give us exactly 750 square centimeters. The next area 2 is trapezium in shape. So half 2 parallel sides, which is 30 and 36. 30 and 36. And the height between them, the perpendicular height between them, not km. So we use from this point, 30 and 60, giving us 90. When we compute this, we shall be having half times 90 times 66. Is that 66? Yes. So I'm getting 2970 and I proceed to area 3. Area 3, when I look at it closely, it's triangular. So half times a base, which is 20 and 20, 40 and a height of 36. 40 and a height of 36. This one we are doing it so keenly. 0.5. In case we don't have a choice that is having the answer that we have, we shall correct the paper because we are doing a very clean work here. Area 4. Area 4, it's also rectangular, a triangular. Half, a base of 20 and a height of 20. Half, 20 by 20. This is 200. I hope that is accurate. Area 5. Which shape is there? Trapezoidal. Okay. So half times 20 and 20. 10 and 20. Half, 10 and 20. And the height between them is 60 and 20. Yeah, 60 and 20, giving us 80. This shall be half multiplied by 30 by 80, giving us 1200. Then area 6. We're almost there. Area 6. Area 6 is again trapezium. So with parallel sides 48 and 10. Half 48 and 10. Then the height between them now. The height between them is 30 and 30, which is now 60. So half times 60 times this particular sum, which is 58, right? Yeah, 1740. Then area 7, which is triangular, and the last, we talk about half 20, 48. Half 20, 48. Half 20, 48, giving us 480. So now we can get total area, whereby we sum up the obvious adding up. 750, 2970 plus 720 plus 200 plus 1200 plus 1740 plus 480. Now this gives us 8060 meters squared. When the area is in meters squared and we've been told to provide it in hectares, we divide by 10,000. Ladies and gentlemen, this shall be 0.806 hectares of land. So you see, I'm not getting such an area. Therefore, the area that I'm getting is 0.806 hectares of land. So what you shall do, please get back to this. From our diagram, check whether maybe in our computations here, there is an error that you are making. If there is, kindly correct it. It's possible we make a mistake because we are rushing. Actually, we are computing very quickly. So in case we've made a mistake, please correct. But if we didn't make a mistake, just know that the author of the paper maybe made a mistake in giving us the right answers. So please feel free to correct the paper and write this one as the right answer. And if it is me who is making the mistake in the computations, kindly feel free and find some space in your heart to forgive shifting grades. Yes, it's possible I make a mistake, but kindly learn what we've come up with, the sketching process, and also the areas, the formula, and also after computing in square meters, the conversion, whereby to convert to hectares, you divide by 10,000. So please master that conversion process and everything else that we have mentioned. Now, the amount of money in Kenya shillings spent on airtime by a group of 18 people in a period of an hour was recorded as shown. We have the amounts there. Calculate the median of the data. So for you to calculate median, you are supposed to arrange data in what we call ascending order. Ascending order, so that you identify the middle value. Ascending order. Therefore, we can look for the least. Where am I going to state them? It's 18 people, so they require some serious space. So let me show you. So I'm going to use this space here, whereby we can start with the least amount of airtime. Do we have 10 something? No. So the least can be this 20, right? So we write 20, comma. The next should be 21, and 21s are 2. So 21, 21. So you write 21 and also 21, and you proceed. Do we have 22? Yes, 22. Any other 22? No. So you write 22. We have 23. When I look 3, there is no 23. So we go to 24. After 24, do we have any other 24? No, we go to 25. So 25. Then after that, we can go to 26. Yes, 26 is there. And it's only 126. What about 27? Yes. What about 28? Can't see 28. I can't see 29. So we go to 30. So we have 30. Then 31. 32. No. Yeah, 32 is here. Then 33. 34. 34s are 2. 34. 34. We state the two of them. 34. 34. Like that. Then 35 is here. 35. 36. 37, 38, 40, 39, 38, 39, yeah. 38, 39, the two stated. We don't have 40, 41, 42, and 46. 42 and 46. So we have all of them stated. All of them listed in what we are calling ascending order. When in ascending order, now you start identifying the one that occupies the middle position. The middle position. So you cancel 20, you cancel 46. 21, you cancel 42. 21 again, you cancel 39. 22, you cancel 38. 24, you cancel 35. 25, you cancel 34. 26, you cancel 34. 27, you cancel 32. You cancel 32. Does this mean we're not having all of them? Because 30 cannot be the median. We should be having two values at the mid because it's an even numbers. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Something that was left? No, they said 18 people. Oh, 55. Sorry. 55 was left. Sorry for that. The biggest was left. Sorry for that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now we just work it out very quickly and in a similar way. Very quickly and in a similar way. So we're not going to waste time there. This is our last question. So let me just change the color actually. This is 22. So now we say, let me use this green, yeah. So you cancel this, cancel 55, cancel 21, cancel 46, 21 again, 42, 22, 39, 24, 38, 25, 35, 26, 34, 27, 34. So at the mid now, you remain with only 2. We are remaining with 30 and 31, 2 of them. So now, because they are 2 at the middle, if it was just one value, we would have taken it as our median. But because they are 2 there, then, ladies and gentlemen, we take their average. So 30 and 32, and we divide by 2, getting 31. So 31 becomes our answer. So the median is neither 30 nor 32. We take their average. Very good work there. Look at number 20 to crown part A. Now, a game spinner has 5 equal sessions numbered 1 to 5. What is the probability of landing on 2? If they have been numbered 1 to 5, then it means we have only 1, 2. So if 2 is 1 and the options are 5, then 2 over 5 is the probability of landing on 2, making A the right answer. As we crown this, kindly remember our one-time ahead programs via Shifting Grades Online School. We'll be doing very serious work through the December holiday. Kindly refer people to us. Please have some trust, have some confidence in whatever we are presenting here. From the 20th of November to the 12th of December, 2025, via Google Meet, very interactive forum. People shall learn a lot from experienced teachers. Consultation line 0704 1533 66. Shifting Grades is the home of academics. Thank you for following up. See you another time. Remember to subscribe and share with your friends.